Star Wars. My name is James.
My name is David.
And Joseph, unfortunately, is not here today. He's not feeling too good, which is good that he's not feeling good now, because that means he'll be good when we go to Celebration next week. So I'm glad he's sick today, but not glad he's sick today.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's what I told him over text. I was like, man, get it out of the way now.
That's great. So what you told me before we got on the phone here that you have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let us get into it.
Yeah, let's start off as far back in time as possible from the last podcast. I think the first story that came up was Star Wars legend Anthony Daniels is headed to Star Wars Celebration.
Woohoo! we all figured he was going to be there anyways, so.
Right, we all figured he was going to be there, but this is something a little different compared to every other Star Wars celebrity. He's going to have this type of meet and greet with the fans. If you pay $100 cash, you can meet with him and take a picture and have him sign something, apparently. And the official verbiage on StarWars.com says, Anthony Daniels, the legendary actor who brought the goldenrod droid C-3PO to life in every Star Wars saga film so far, as well as Rogue One, is headed to Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. Join him on Sunday at 5:15 p.m. as he presents Droidography on the Galaxy stage. An hour of personal stories, hilarious wit, and an unforgettable in-person experience. Expect the unexpected, as Daniels has a marvelous time, sometimes at the expense of unsuspecting audience members. And then it says you can also meet with Anthony Daniels in room W190A all day on Saturday and Sunday of Celebration Weekend to get an autograph or say hello in one of over 6 million forms of communication.
That's pretty awesome.
I might go with sign language. I don't know.
I'm wondering if I'm going to do that or not. I mean, I saw him at Celebration, 2017, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if I'm going to spend $100 to, chill with him. I don't know. That's just me personally. What about you?
I think I might do it. I mean, I'd rather go to Celebration and have the opportunity, the option to, at the last second, the last minute, decide, okay, I want this person's autograph. I want this person's picture, as opposed to what everyone's doing right now. You have to pre-order, and then there's only a certain amount of slots, and then once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, I might have more money, I might have less money. I don't know. So it's I think it's a luxury for a person like me that's gonna go there, and it's just, if I'm feeling it, I'm gonna do it.
All right, makes sense. Yeah, I'll figure it out when we get there too. All right, what else we got this week?
So there's a new story being dropped for Star Wars Dooku Jedi Lost. And it's kind of unique because it's an audio-only story. Mm-hmm. You can't buy the book. And I'm not sure. Did we actually talk about this? I think we might have mentioned it.
I think Joseph may have mentioned it, but yeah, go for it. Go ahead and re-explain to our listeners what this is.
So there was an updated synopsis given this week, so that's actually kind of new. And I'll read it to you. The audio-only story written by Kayvon Scott follows Dooku's assassin, Ventress, as she uncovers why Dooku left the Jedi Order. You can delve into the history of the sinister Count Dooku in this audio original set in a galaxy far, far away. Darth Tyrannus, Count of Sereno, leader of the Separatists, a red saber unsheathed in the dark. But who was he before he became the right hand of the Sith? As Dooku courts a new apprentice, the hidden truth of the Sith Lord's past comes to light.
That sounds exciting. I mean, we've always all wanted to know what Dooku was before, and for me, I would love to see how Dooku and Yoda were, when Yoda found Dooku and he trained him. That's what I really want to know about this story.
And I think that's really fertile ground for a Disney Plus series. Have a young Dooku, recast him as someone younger, and have puppet Yoda / CGI Yoda in the mix. Frank Oz can still do the voice. They can do a limited 3-series run, like a trilogy in a series on Disney Plus. I mean, I think we would all watch it. I think it would be super interesting.
Oh yeah.
big opportunity for the story group to step in and be like, hey, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. I think they could really shine.
And
And
and his name is Count Dooku, right? It's not he didn't give himself that name. His name is Count Dooku, right?
right. And that's the interesting thing. Joseph
Ah,
actually pointed out to us that Dooku has no first name. It's just Count Dooku, or is Dooku just his name?
maybe
There's no
Duke.
first and last.
Well, I mean, just like Yoda, Yoda's Yoda, So maybe Dooku was also just Dooku.
Right. And I always think about that joke that Josh Gad made at the episode 8 panel. Are you the Madonna of Jakku? Why do you only have one room? Right.
So are you like the Madonna of Jedi here, Yoda and Dooku and Rey? Oh, hey, we're onto something here. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though. She's the offspring of Dooku. That gotta happen.
See, that's something that people haven't brought up.
What?
So that Rey could be the offspring of Count Dooku.
Well, I mean, she also raised up her lightsaber like he did. You know what I mean? So maybe this is a thing. I'm just joking. That'd be fun.
Well, Anakin did as well.
I know they both did.
We digress. A new image, a cleaner image of that episode 9 poster leak was dropped online. Have you taken a look at it?
Yes, I have. It's like a more HD version of the picture. Was this
Right.
released by
It's
Lucasfilm?
cleaned up.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Lucasfilm isn't going to release anything. But like I said in the previous podcast, all the media outlets that cover Star Wars that are reputable are reporting that these are legit images. If it's not a legit poster, if someone actually did piecemeal this together, they piecemealed parts and characters, ships that are in the film. And that was my original thought. That's what happened. But you got those outlets saying this is a legit poster that's meant for retail. So
it seems weird that they would have those posters already made when we don't even have a title for the film. And if they're going to release it for retail, the whole title should be on the poster. It shouldn't just say Star Wars without the title. You know what I mean? Even The Last Jedi, all the stuff they put up, it didn't just say Star Wars. It said Star Wars The Last Jedi. So
right. But Rian Johnson released a title in like January of that year. And JJ hasn't. So
I know, but
he might be doing something really special with the title release. Or there is no title.
Don't give me that. No, I mean, like I said in our video this past Thursday, like for me, that was the biggest red flag that it wasn't a legitimate poster. I mean, the images, yeah, they're real, but the fact that it doesn't even have a title means the person who did it didn't know the title, so they just put Star Wars. And I can't see like Target or any of them even getting a pre-poster design already without the title of the film, so.
But how could you have the title if it hasn't even been released on anything? That's why I'm saying it's so odd that there's no title, so they can't stamp it on all the merchandise.
Yeah. So why is this poster being called legitimate?
Well, they can still make a poster without the title. You don't need the title on the poster.
I know, but you
see Chewie and Rey.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. All I'm saying is like if they were trying to promote it as an episode 9, they didn't even put Roman numerals. They didn't even put a title on there. It was, for me, like you said, all the images were legitimate pictures from 9. It's just it was somebody who put them all together to make it look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but
yeah, we'll see.
We won't know until we go to Triple Force Friday.
Triple Force Friday. There he goes, Joseph. I said it for you. He's our
shout out to Joseph.
Yeah, shout out to Joseph, our Triple Force Friday guy.
So Lucasfilm unveiled a massive mural design for Star Wars Celebration.
Woohoo!
Which we will get to see in person. And one thing I actually didn't know about this was that Kathleen Kennedy, she wanted this poster to encapsulate the entire Star Wars saga from start to finish, which also includes the animated Clone Wars and Rebels to be printed, drawn on this mural. And she tapped Doug Chiang, who is the Lucasfilm vice president and executive creative director, for Lucasfilm to create this mural, which is 10 feet tall and 88 feet long.
That is insane.
That is a huge mural.
It's going to be so beautiful, too. It's going to be beyond beautiful.
Right. It's going to include every Star Wars film and Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels.
And I even hear it's even going to have a little bit of 9 on the last part. Like it's,
right.
Yeah. So
right. It will include Episode 9.
So the guy who drew this picture with Doug Chang, he had another picture at Celebration, which I bought, and it was the same thing but on a much smaller scale without Episode 8 or Resistance on there or anything. But it did have, the prequels, Clone Wars, the original, and then the variant you have Rey and Kylo Ren and all that. And it was awesome, man. And so the fact that they're doing this huge one is going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah, we'll be sure to take a whole bunch of pictures of that because, it should be quite epic.
I hope they release.
And the other cool aspect of this is that they released the sections for the original trilogy of the mural, and you can go to the Amazon Celebration store and buy those images on throw blankets.
Yeah. I'm wondering if anybody's going to be walking around in those throw blankets over there at Celebration.
I don't know. It just might be me. Who knows?
Did you order it already?
No, I haven't, but I think I still have time to get it to my house if I do that.
There you go.
Maybe. And also, a weird story came out. Chris Weitz, one of the writers of Rogue One, revealed that the original ending of Rogue One was supposed to be a wedding.
A wedding.
Yeah, it's strange, first of all, because it's a wedding, but who was getting married?
Yeah, I don't know what they were planning on. Like, was Jin supposed to get married to somebody? What was... Man, that movie... And apparently the reason they had the wedding ending was they thought Disney wasn't going to let them kill everybody off. So that was why they wrote this happy ending, because they were like, man, this is not going to let us do what we want to do. But then once Disney was like, no, they all need to die, they were like, okay, good. And so...
Good.
Man, that's crazy to think. Like, this movie could have been very, 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 very bad, We always say it all the time, how much trouble Rogue One was in.
Whatever you do to make the film, whatever it takes, whatever, weird scenarios, whatever directors you got to pull in, whoever you need for the story, if it works, it works.
And yeah,
and it worked.
And Kennedy made it work, man. She got everybody in who she needed, and they were able to finish that movie. And it was a success. It was a huge success for them.
Yeah.
So that freaked me out when I read that.
So there's a rumor out there. This is not really spoilers. It's just a rumor that The Mandalorian has already been renewed for a season 2 on Disney Plus.
Wow. Already. It hasn't even come out yet. And they're already like, yeah, there's going to be a season 2. Man.
Yeah, it seems like whatever they've accomplished with The Mandalorian has impressed Disney executives so much that it seems like they're going to just greenlight season 2 and make The Mandalorian the marquee show of Disney Plus over anything that Marvel's doing, over their archive of stuff, the Disney Vault that they're going to open. So that's really exciting news. And I don't know if I can get more hype for this. It's just going to be incredible, it feels like, and just so many directors. And it actually came out that Bryce Dallas Howard and Taika Waititi are actually going to act in The Mandalorian as well. So they might be like Easter egg characters.
Well, we all figure that Waititi is going to be IG-88. Like, they have that picture of him standing there. But it could not be. I mean, he could easily be directing an actor off to the side. But the way they took the picture, it looks like he's the voice of IG-88. So just imagine that voice coming out of that droid, and it's got to be really freaking awesome.
Yeah, man, it's to see those bounty hunters back in live action, doing crazy stuff. I want to see the full array of what they're capable of. I want to see all their blasters. I want to see their capabilities, their physical capabilities, their just intellect. I want to see it all on display, and I think Favreau is going to give it to us. I think he really is.
Yeah, I'm just ready to see the scale of this show and how it's all gonna come together. I mean, this is so exciting. This is super exciting for Star Wars fans to have a full show, live action, about one of the coolest like looking. I mean, it's not Boba Fett, mind you, but you know what I mean. It's a Mandalorian, and the armor looks beautiful. Oh man, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with this thing.
Fingers crossed for that Mandalorian panel on
Oh,
Sunday,
dude,
man.
yeah. Okay. So should we get into that a little bit there and explain that we've entered the lottery for this thing, and we're just waiting patiently to see if we're gonna get into this thing. Yeah, we did the merchandise one, and then this week we did the regular panels. So we'll see. We'll find out this week if we got it.
So yeah, I think that it might work out for us in the end because a lot of people that I've seen online talk about this. Some are only entering a few panels. Some aren't going at all. Some people don't know how the lottery system works. And it's like, wow, maybe we are at the advantage with the lottery. If all the people don't register for the lottery, I think we have a really good shot. And then being a group, if one of our group gets selected, they get to pull in the rest of the group. So
I like how
our
we're
chances
talking.
gone up.
I like how we're talking like this, but then watch they come out. We didn't get any of them. You know what I mean? Like we didn't get none of them. It's a possibility. And my wife feels bad for me because like I'm super like confident we're gonna get all of the panels, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you probably are not gonna get any of them, and it's gonna be so sad." I'm like, "Don't think that way. Think positive. It's gonna be great." And it was easy. It was easy to do. There wasn't any traffic online to do the lottery for the panels like there were for the merchandise. The merchandise had to wait for a couple of minutes. The panels, I walked literally walked, if you know what I mean. I walked right up to the front of the line and was able to do it.
Yeah, we are only 9 days away from jumping on a plane and going straight to Chicago. Star Wars Nirvana, aka Star Wars Celebration.
I cannot believe that it's already basically here. Like,
yeah.
And I joked with you earlier. I was like, the laundry that I'm doing now is like my laundry that I'm going to start packing. And that's blowing my mind right now. The fact that we're getting ready, man. It's happening.
Yeah, man. The pre-packing has started.
Yeah, not for me yet. Like I said, I just did my laundry and got my hat going here. So I'm pretty, man. Oh my God, it's got to be great. But there's. Have you heard people talking about how this is going to be like the Fire Festival for Star Wars fans? And that makes me.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna make it work.
Oh, I'm so terrified.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make it work, man. It's gonna work for me. I'm gonna make it work by sheer force of will. It's gonna work for me. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna be hanging with everyone there. And getting to see old friends from past celebrations, getting to see fellow podcasters that I've met before, getting to hang out with listeners, people that are listening right now, we're probably going to get to meet in person and thank them in person for listening and contributing to our podcast. So it's going to be exciting, man. It's the first time going as podcasters.
Oh yeah, that's what's blowing my mind too. And just for our listeners who are going to be there, I'm not tall in person. I know it looks like I'm really tall in person, but I'm not. So you're going to notice that really quick whenever you see me there at Celebration. So just giving y'all a heads up.
Yeah, just look for the episode 1 hat.
Yeah, look for the episode 1 hat. I hope other people have this hat, but then at the same time, I hope no one has this hat because, I thought I'm the smartest Star Wars fan ever. I'm going to get the episode 1. I'm just joking. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people with this hat on. But yeah, I'll be wearing this hat and I'll be hanging out with dudes that are taller than I am. So
yeah, I'll probably be wearing my Cardinal Red Star Wars Celebration 2019 hoodie from the 501st.
Nice.
I'll probably be wearing that. So there you go.
You'll see us. All right. I have something I want to bring up really quickly and hear your thoughts about it. Do you remember it was after episode 7 had come out that they said that Rian Johnson was doing rewrites for episode 8? Do you remember that? Because he turned in his script the day of episode 7's release. And then like a month or two later, Kathleen Kennedy said that he's actually now rewriting some of the movie. to include everyone's favorite people, which was Ray, Poe, Finn, and because apparently in his first draft he really didn't have from the way it sounded, he didn't sound like he had a
I
lot of them.
do.
Okay.
I do remember that because I remember specifically them stating they didn't know that Ray, Poe, and Finn were going to be such a hit.
Yes. Okay. It all goes back to what you had said, which was Rian Johnson had finished the script before Seven had even come out. Like,
right.
Do you think he wrote the script based off of the first draft that they were the first movie that they were gonna film for episode 7, and then as the movie came out, he was like, "Wait, I got to change all of this because Poe was supposed to die, like all that was supposed to happen." Do you think when he rewrote it, he had to then bring in all the stuff that Abrams was like, "Oh, by the way, yeah, this is what the movie is now, not what you originally thought"? Do you think that might have happened? There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think that happened for sure because there was a lot of Poe stuff with Leia in episode 8. And if Poe was not there, who was going to be that person? I mean, that whole sequence of events with Poe and Leia, I mean, it might not have existed until after JJ dropped the bomb on him saying, okay, well, Poe's going to be alive. And then Kathleen Kennedy or whoever said, well, can you make it so it's more Poe, Finn, and Rey centric?
Mm-hmm. Man, that's crazy to think about that. Maybe Rian Johnson had this whole movie without Poe and without the Leia plot line at all. Like, that's what's bizarre. And I remember Boyega had said really early on about the script, he says, well, I'm not really with Daisy at all in this movie. I'm with Rose, which is still the case. He was with Rose almost the whole movie. But I remember hearing that, and yeah, you were right. It sounded like they didn't anticipate those 3 to be a big hit. But now I'm wondering if they didn't even anticipate the 3 of them being a 3, you know what I mean? Like, maybe there wasn't a big 3 that they had in mind for this trilogy.
Right, and that harkens back to the original trilogy having a big 3.
Yeah.
And how could they go into a new Star Wars trilogy and not think about having a big 3 again? I mean,
because
Star Wars is about tradition.
Yeah, they were gonna kill Poe. Poe was not supposed to live. Like, that whole plot line was not supposed to happen. And what's even crazier to think about now is that all those scenes with Poe and Leia existed, which means the movie was completely different. The movie was nothing at all what we saw, because there were supposed to be lots of scenes with Poe and Leia, and then Poe was gonna die. You know what I mean? So, do you think Johnson had to then rewrite all the stuff with Poe and Leia to bring it over from the Force Awakens into this movie?
I mean, he had to have. I mean, think back to that last scene in episode 7 where JJ wanted Luke with the floating rocks.
Yeah.
And Ryan was like, no, you can't do that, because Luke, we didn't know at the time, Luke has cut himself off from the Force. Plus, he also had to tell him, have R2 show up at Octu instead of BB-8, because originally JJ wrote for BB-8 to show up to Octu.
Yeah. So, man, it's crazy to think that both of them had a different movie that they wrote. Abrams, Kasdan, and Johnson all had a different story that they had to change for the movies. And
yeah, that's the issue with not having a plan, not thinking it out all the way through, not having the same director. Because this type of thing, I mean, you have a lot of talent in JJ and Ryan, and I mean, episode 9 might connect it. I mean, episode 9 will be able to give us the final kind of outlook on what this sequel trilogy was. And it's not probably going to be it's probably not going to be till 2020 until we can make the final call and say, okay, how much of a success was it in the long run?
Yeah, true.
Financially, of course, it's going to make all the money because it's Star Wars. And was what they did appropriate to do? Which, I mean, we got a lot of great things. We got Rey, we got Finn, we got Poe. We got Harrison Ford back on screen to play Han Solo. We got Mark Hamill back to play Luke. I mean, there's a lot of positives to take away from it, and we got the Millennium Falcon back on screen. But yeah, time will tell, just like everything.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that too. Like when episode 9 comes out, then we'll have a full picture of what this story ultimately was and
Right.
where it was going. And because right now it just looks like, like you said, maybe they didn't have a full vision. Maybe they had an idea, but they just didn't know how to get there. And like Abrams was like, "Hey, so this is where we're going, but you can make it up as you go along. Have fun." Which I don't think that's the way they should have done it. And it almost sounds like the reason that happened was because they were so rushed to get episode 7 out and to write
Right.
it and
JJ
everything.
was rushed. JJ was definitely rushed. He wanted to wait till May.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted Bob Iger to give him till May. Bob Iger said no, it's coming out in December.
And so here's my other question to you: when Michael Arndt was working on it, was he working? Do you think he was writing the whole story, like the overarching story from 7, 8 to 9, or do you think he was solely focused on 7? I mean, we'll never know, but it just what do you think?
The decision, I believe, was made early that different writers were going to write episode 8 and 9 because when they brought Ryan Johnson in, he is the writer of episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kasdan, not anyone else. No one helped him per se.
Yeah.
So I think Arndt probably, it's tough to say. I mean, he wrote 7, or he attempted to write 7. I don't think he completed it. And Kathleen Kennedy even stated on the episode 7 special features that Michael Arndt usually takes years to write a full, complete story. And they were hoping that he would expedite that process, which apparently he didn't, or JJ didn't agree with what he was writing and said, well, let me just take it from here. I can write it. I'll bring in Larry Kasdan. We're bringing the old crew from the old trilogy back. JJ is a big original trilogy fan.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted those original trilogy feels to be back. I think Arndt was just writing 7. I think in the back of his head, I mean, other parts of his brain were writing 8 and 9, but he wasn't getting paid for it most likely.
Okay.
Because how can you be a writer and not think of the middle and end of full complete story?
That's what drives me crazy about this is, I used to always say they had an overarching story, they had to have, but now the more I think about it, like maybe they didn't. Maybe they were so focused on getting 7 done and out that they never had time to figure out what was going to happen. I mean, Abrams said he had told Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, like what they were kind of going toward, and apparently Adam Driver said like that stayed the same, like what was going to happen to him. So he's always had that in his mind as he's been working on it. But it just seems so strange that they went ahead like that without like sitting down, like doing what Kevin Feige did with Marvel, which was he was like, boom, this is what we're doing, and look, it's paying off beautifully for them. And I don't know, we'll tell. Time will tell how this sequel trilogy is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, episode 9 might change our minds on 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Or maybe won't change our minds at all at what we think about 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's what worries me. But like the movie's going to come out and completely be like, yeah, those 2 didn't happen, so here we go. You know what I mean? Like, what if they go that route? What if Abrams goes that route completely? Makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. This could be like his admission that, okay, well, or his kind of redo and try and fit in almost like the whole trilogy in one film. It feels a lot like episode 8 sometimes is Ryan Johnson's trilogy for the sequels, because there's just so much going on and so many like transitions and cuts, and I mean there's different storylines, and it's like there's a lot in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like to me he made the movie like, I might not ever make another Star Wars film. I'm going to do what I want, and then I'll be done, and that'll be on my obituary, and I'm out. But then Kathleen Kennedy said, well, no, that was great. We want to hand you a trilogy. And now hopefully we see Ryan at Celebration.
Oh, that'd be great if he's there. I would love to see him. Just, I think
Yeah,
that
that would say a lot. That would say a lot to me.
yeah, I agree. I think him on stage. I think him on stage with Abrams would be a really big thing, in my opinion. So we'll see. Johnson, if you're listening to us, please go to Celebration. We would love for you to be there. Like Ryan Johnson listens to this podcast.
I don't know, man. He listens to other people apparently. So who knows? I mean, this might get back to him. Who knows? But
Who knows? Johnson,
anyways,
you're awesome.
Yeah. Did you have anything else?
That was it. Yeah, just the Ryan Johnson writing the script later on. That was about it. So,
Yeah.
but you picked up something right now, and I saw it, which is the trivia cards.
Yeah. So back in 2017, I brought some trivia to Orlando Celebration, and I wanted to do something a little different and end the podcast on a couple of trivia questions, and I want to see if you can
Me? Want to see
get them right.
Oh,
Yes.
man. All right. What do we got? All right.
So these questions vary from the very easy to the extremely hard.
Okay, I'm probably not gonna know any of these. If they're like really hard, I'm not gonna know like what engine did they use for the X-wing and blah. What do
Okay,
we?
so I'm going to ask you the question. If you can't guess it, I'll give you multiple choice,
Okay.
and then you can guess from that.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. The first question ever. Who was in charge of Echo Base on Hoth?
Who was in charge of Echo Base?
Yes.
Somebody from the Rebellion. Give me some
Right.
options. What are the options?
Okay, multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Okay.
Okay. A. General Riken.
Okay.
B. General Veers. C. General Dodonna. Or D. General Mills.
It's A, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Good job. General Riken. Yeah, it's kind of funny that General Mills is in there, but
That's pretty amazing.
little joke there.
Did it?
So yeah, James gets some points.
Woohoo! All right. What else we got?
So the second trivia question is, who said, "Then I'll see you in hell"?
Han Solo. That's the easiest one, right?
Okay. Okay, you answered it before I finished. Okay, yeah. Like I said, easy to very hard.
All right. What else
So,
we got?
yeah. So you're 2 for 2. That's it.
I-
You've proved that you deserve this podcast.
Yes, all my hopes and dreams just came true right now. Should we talk about the new logo we have? It's not even a new logo; it's just a more improved logo we're gonna start using now.
Yeah, definitely. I sent out a message on my personal Facebook thanking Jim, who lives in Norway and is a big Star Wars fan, who designed our first logo. And we will have stickers actually to hand out to listeners or whoever wants one, I guess. Yeah, I just want to thank him on the podcast, and I thanked him on Facebook, and I tagged him. And yeah, he lives in Norway, and he said it's 4 a.m. when I contacted him. But yeah, I asked him to tweak it a little bit to include the word podcast in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that. He changed it up, and it looks great. And I just want to thank him.
Yes, thank you so much, man. It looks awesome, and we'll throw it up there on our Instagram and also on the video. It's right there. You're looking at it in the video right now. But yeah, I guess that's it for today, huh?
Yes, but if you want to contact us or interact with us, Twitter is at SWSPod2187. Snapchat is SWS or SW Stuff Podcast. Instagram is Star Wars Stuff _podcast. Our Facebook, we have a Star Wars Stuff group and a Star Wars Stuff podcast page. Our email, if you want to talk to us directly, email us directly, starwarsstuffpodcast@gmail.com. And, of course, you can donate to us to help us defray the cost of the equipment, the stuff we buy, the books, celebration. That's paypal.me/Star Wars Stuff to donate.
Wait, I just remembered. One of our listeners emailed us and messaged us. He said that apparently there's this thing going around now that whenever the helmet is going on Anakin, he says, "Padme, help me," like as the
I saw something like that too, and I was like, nah.
So I went
But
back.
that is very interesting though. That is
I,
that did kind of spark some like memories of watching that. And could that have been like placed in there by an FX guy, possibly, like very, very like low?
well, I went back and watched it, and he doesn't say anything at all.
Right,
Like he
right,
doesn't.
okay.
He just he whitens his eyes, and then he just looks, and that's it. And the scene's over. And
Maybe a novelization tie-in.
maybe, or maybe it's just one of those things that people are, I've seen it before where they have like a Star Wars picture and they put fact, and like they'll write something on there, and when it's not even true, it's not even close to being true about Star Wars. And I'm
Right.
thinking this is maybe one of those things that people are like, oh my goodness, he said it, it's a fact. It's like, if you watch the clip, he doesn't say a single thing during that whole clip. So
Right.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's a thing.
And now that you bring that up, there was another person that listens to us. He brought up the story of a possible Ewoks Disney Plus show.
Yeah. I've heard
And I
about
think
this.
that's just a big rumor. I haven't heard anything reliable on that, but yeah, that would be kind of cool to have Ewoks again,
Yeah,
and
but
actually have it more like
no, I don't.
less like Caravan of Courage and more like The Mandalorian.
Well, my whole thing with Ewoks is the same thing with the holiday special. When you do Wookiees or Ewoks, no one knows what they're saying, so you can't do a whole show with Ewoks just going yeah. I don't want no. I don't think it's gonna work.
But if they did, it would be amazing.
If they do like
No English, all subtitled.
no, that's it. No, I disagree with this idea.
A Disney Plus short, James.
No.
A Disney Plus short Star Wars story. Ewoks.
Hey, even if they do their like new, the Star Wars kids that they're throwing up there on YouTube, they did an Ewok episode, that'd be amazing. So just do that.
Yeah.
Don't make a whole TV show off of Ewoks. So on that note,
Yeah, I got a soft spot for Ewoks.
really.
But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember
Good time.
I joked and said for celebration I'm going to be an Ewok because I'm that short that people would probably think of me as life size. Oh my gosh.
Here's my Wicked
Oh my
ornament.
gosh.
Yeah, one of the super popular game modes on Battlefront 2 is that Ewok hunt. It's
That thing's brutal.
it's pretty fun.
That thing's brutal,
Yeah.
man. Ewoks straight up murder stormtroopers, and jeez, it's kind of hardcore.
Yeah, that's where they get their nickname from, Murder Bears. I mean, come on.
Well, on that note, thank y'all for listening to this podcast, and we'll be back next week with another awesome topic. And may the force be with you.
Always.
Miss you, Joseph.
It's a trap!